Hello everyone. At long last, it's here. Let's review this figure and complete this set, shall we? I'm Troublesome Junction, and I'm bringing you the Bendy and the Ink Machine Bendy figure. I've reviewed all three of these other figures, and I've made a playlist for them, so you can check out my channel if you want to see those other reviews. And I've said that I was going to do a review on Bendy before I did Alice, but Bendy was gone, and yeah, so he's the last one. So without further ado, let's peep this out. And yes, my face is covered because, you know, obvious reasons. So, I want to get every moment of this. Every single moment. If this would, you know what, just go from the bottom. When in doubt, take the other route. Yeah, the one thing about this packaging, though, is that it's very, very weak. I'm talking like, this is as weak as the Jack Specific Bowser Jr. Factory Error figure I reviewed. Like, that's how weak this packaging feels. So I don't want to break it off the thing, so just pull this out very so gently. Let's look at the props first before Bendy, because these are actually probably the most interesting out of them all. Because the other ones, if you watch my other videos, you would know that I said that they look straight up like they came out of an operation board. I was really not that big of a fan of them, to be 100% honest. Set Bendy down. So here is the Bendy plush right here. You can buy this as an actual plush toy. Right there, you got it. It looks just like it does in the game. Doesn't move its head though, just a solid piece. But really, really good detail. Got the little tie there, the pie cut eye face, albeit they're going in opposite directions, which is accurate, I suppose, but not accurate to Bendy himself. Just like a little plush toy that you would see, usually in like a cartoon, to be honest. And then you got ink, which I think is probably one of the best accessories to get, is just this ink canister. It is just a solid thing. It's a little bit flexible up there. Skull and crossbones on it. And yeah, just got a bunch of skull and crossbones on that. It's literally just a can with a little... This is supposed to be like a paintbrush pen type of thing poking out of it. But yeah, these are props from within the game of Bendy and the Ink Machine. So now moving on to the figure himself, Bendy. First thing I'm pointing out, his head, it's squishy. I do not like that at all. Toys that have squishy heads like this, once again in my Bowser Jr. video, and I think maybe in a prior Bendy and the Ink Machine review, I talked about how I do not like it when figures have this sort of squishy head is what I call it, and it's like vinyl, sort of. But anyways, the head itself rotates full 360 and got the smiling face, pie cut eyes, grin, white, I don't know what you'd call it, white face, and then the background is just, you know, horns. It looks basically just like the figure of Bendy that's the all vinyl one. It looks it's pretty much that, but just in an action figure. Arms look really, really weird, just because Bendy's typical stance is like this. Man, these hands are beautiful, insanely accurate. Albeit this arm is kind of crooked. I don't know if that's on the right way. I swear, if this is another factory error and I opened it, I doubt it. But still, if it is, I'm going to be really mad because it looks kind of backwards. If this is another factory error figure, I will be upset. I doubt it, but still. Nice white bow tie here. This one has a little, I got a little hair on it. This one has a little, you can't really see it through camera. Oh, it's gone now. But when I bought it, it had a little smudge mark right on his eye. Maybe it just came off. There was another Bendy figure at the store, but it had glue coming all down here, and that would have driven me crazy. So I got this one. I'm really, really picky about which figures I buy. Like, Pop figures, for example, I hate it when they have exposed glue. Just recently bought the Bill Cipher figure. In fact, I'll just go back real quick. I have the Bill Cipher pop figure, which is probably one of my favorites, along with my Cuphead figure. You can see there it just has super glue drizzling down, and then this is a very noticeable seam here. Stuff like that bothers me in a toy. So that's why I bought this specific one, because it had minimal factory problems, pretty much. I mean, got a bit of overpaint here, but you know, you don't really notice it because you see him head on, because he's very short. Speaking of him being short, that's another thing I had to point out. Since he's very short, he has the least amount of articulation out of all the figures. He has articulation in his shoulders, like they can move all around and out, so you can do the chicken dance. Same with this arm, as you saw me fiddling with it earlier. Rotation in the wrist, as usual. Very stiff though, but the joints on his arms feel very weak. No rotation in the feet, strangely. But then sitting position. I think he's probably the only figure that can actually sit down. And, oh, there we go. Their feet do rotate. There we go. They're just a bit stiff. That's one problem that I do have with these figures, is just that their points of articulation will either be really, really loose or really, really stiff. That's probably one thing that really bothers me about these figures. But, you know, oh well. These are just going to be sitting on my shelf anyways. He has a very simplistic design, just because that's how he is. It has the licensing information on the back. Meatly Games and Fat Mojo. Little dots on the gloves to, like, very similar to like how Mickey Mouse or like even how Mario has, albeit Mario's aren't really painted, but still, same style. Has little slits here just so he can sit. I mean, I understand why they did that, because, you know, you got to have as much articulation as possible. And I think that it's cool that he can actually sit down, just because I think it just looks right and has a lot of potential. So, that's pretty much all I have to say for this review. If I were to give this a rating, I would probably give it a 9 or an 8.5 out of 10. Really good figure, but there's some things that really bother me, such as, one, how, you know, loose all the joints are. The quality control isn't exact. It's much like Funko is with their pop figures, not exactly perfect for each figure. But if I were to recommend these to a little kid, maybe, because there's a lot of times where, such as on the Boris figure, when I tried to sit him down, it would bend the plastic and such. So I recommend these honestly for collectors, if you just want to have them sit on your shelf and just stare at for all eternity and remind you of why you don't have a life. Me, pretty much. Just kidding for all you collectors out there, I'm one of you. I'm just making a joke there, because there are a lot of people who get easily offended by that for some reason. Cough, cough. So I'd recommend, if I were to recommend a Bendy line to younger kids, plush toys. The Bendy plush toys are durable, and they'll actually last you quite a lot longer than maybe the joints on these guys. I have a lot of little cousins who are fans of the game, and I think that maybe for people like them or younger kids, maybe get the plush toys if you want something to play with, throw around, because these guys are more something you might want to play with delicately or just sit on your shelf. So, taking the package and the figure itself, I'll leave you here, Bill Cipher. Oh yeah, I made that with my 3D pen over there. Just ignore that. So, coming around here to my Bendy stuff, I'm going to move this Enderman. He can fall to the ground. Now I have every package for these guys. And then coming over to here to my Bendy collection. There's some other things I reviewed if you want to see that. Luigi's Mansion figure and Mugman. There's my Switch dock. So, right here, next to Ink Bendy. Well then, as I was saying, I'm going to put this next to Ink Bendy, line up all the accessories, put this here. Well, this can't sit, so we'll just lay down. And then that there. There it is, folks. Troublesome Junction has officially completed the Bendy and the Ink Machine action figure line. How about that for Season 1? Oh boy, can't wait for Season 2 to end up eating my wallet away. Please, please, Fat Mojo, make a Sammy Lawrence figure. I want one of those. I'll be the first one in line to get that. Not too big on the games themselves, but Sammy Lawrence is a really cool character. Got to admit that. So that's all I have to say for this video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment, because I do actually read all of the comments that are posted. And I will see you guys on the flip side.